To recognize the original Asian princess we all knew and loved growing up, we're rating every Mulan song out of 10. And when I say we, I mean me and my friend Raven.
Hello.
Oh, don't you look so cute dressed up as Cricky?
I feel like this is an attack on my height right now because Mushu's significantly taller than this cricket.
Works! It works out perfectly for us. Because, like, would you rather me be dressed up in a traditional Chinese robe?
No, I think this is a fair compromise. And I'm digging this. So,
Awesome! Now let's get to it. So the first song, we're going in like order, is Honor to Us All, and I know this is probably gonna get some backlash, but I gave it a 1 out of 10 because I know it's beautiful, it's really beautifully sung, I love it, but when I listening to the lyrics, they were just drenched in gender norms and I was not having it. And it serves the purpose of the movie, but like if you just listen to it like isolated from there, it makes me feel devalued as a woman. That's why I give it a 1 out of 10.
no, I feel that. So, actually, I scored it higher, but I had the same issue. So, I scored it at 4 out of 10. The actual like music components of it were really well put together, but the lyrics are just so off-putting. Like it's understandable for the time it's in and for movie purposes, but it's just on its own. It does not like stand the age of time. It does not age well. Like it's just very misogynistic. Um One of the songs that like one of the lyrics in the song that like really off put me was like we all bring honor to the emperor, and it was by men by bearing arms, women by bearing sons, and I was like, nah, I'm not having this. So yeah, I rated it 4 out of 10 because the harmonies and blending of lyrics were really nice. I liked how they had Chinese music elements in it, like it was definitely Chinese sounding, but those lyrics just threw me. Could not wrap my brain around them. So
Now that you like talk about the instrumentals, that kind of makes me want to give it like a 2 out of 10. Do you want to compromise? And like, since you gave it a 4, I gave it a 1. Let's compromise in like 3 out of 10?
2.5 is halfway.
We don't do halvesies here. We're whole numbers. We round this bitch.
All right, rounded to 3. Yeah, I think 3 is a fair number. It's just the song itself is nice. The way they blend the lyrics, like they have like different parts of the song blended together was cool, but just lyric wise, lacking. So lacking.
Agreed. So together, we give it a 3. Honor to us all, a 3 out of 10. Moving on to reflection. Ah, ah, this never gets old. This is so relevant to today and always will be. I give it my infinite rainbow, which means I love it so much. I don't care who you are. This song has awakened something in each and every one of you. It's a powerful performance, and with wrenching like lyrics, it's also honestly, it's the gay awakening song.
Honestly, I agree. I also gave it a rainbow infinity. It's a really difficult song to sing. And as a Filipino, I am slightly biased because it was sung by Lea Salonga, who is a Filipina singer. But the amount of control you have to hit some of those like vocal riffs and to hit some of those high notes without sounding like you're belting, it was like on point, so on point. And then like lyric wise, it just I agree. It's so relatable. Outside of the movie, it can translate to so many different ways. It doesn't have to be just Mulan. Like it just works in so many contexts. The one thing, and this is not song related, but video wise, I wish makeup came off as easily as she just like wiped it off with her sleeve.
I
Like,
know.
oh my
I
god.
was like rewatching that scene, and I'm like, that was a thick coating of makeup. Your face was all beat up. There ain't no way. Just one swoop gone, like perfect complexion. My ass. That's how you know it's fiction.
What yeah, like whatever makeup remover they've got in like ancient China, please give it. Like, oh my god, I was like, I wish it came off that easy. Are you serious? But yeah, otherwise, I really love this song. It's so catchy. It's great for any moment. So, Rainbow Infinity.
Rainbow Infinity. It's a double rainbow. Love it. For I'll Make a Man Out of You. And I even warned you about this. I know it's beloved, but again, it's if Honor to Us All was reinforcing female gender stereotypes, then I'll Make a Man Out of You is kind of enforcing male gender stereotypes. It's the most popular and most recognizable song from Mulan, but boy, it's them lyrics yet again and social standards. And again, outside the context of the movie, it's like it's so much toxic masculinity is in there. But I do appreciate all the parodies that came out of the song, so that's why I just gave it like a 1 out of 10.
Okay, we're gonna complete disagree hard on this one because I rated it up for Rainbow Infinity. Um, so we're like two opposite ends of the spectrum. I think part of it, like lyric wise, I don't really even think about it so much. So that probably is why I rated it so high, but it's just so, so catchy. Like anyone, if they hear the beginning, they know what song it's going to be and can just sing along right away. I don't think like it's as toxic as Honor to Us All because in Honor to Us All, it's like I felt like the context they were giving for women was like you have to be, you know, swift, like fast working, you have to be quiet, you have to be demure. Like there was like specifics, but I feel like for Make a Man Out of You, it's like swift as a coursing river, loud as a great typhoon. Like it's just it is metaphor to storms and nature. So I guess to me it didn't seem like that egregiously bad in terms of lyrics, but I can see where it is very toxic because it's kind of very like masculine oriented. So I see where you're coming from. I just can't. I feel like I'm just so biased. I can't get over the fact of like how catchy it is. They showcased all of the characters really well. So like each of the main characters has like a line in there, and so they're able to tell the storyline while keeping the beat going, and it's not distracting. So for me, I just thought the lyrics were incorporated really well for the story, so I rated it like super high because it's also one of my favorite songs in the whole soundtrack.
All right, that's pretty fair. I can't really argue with that. So, dang, since we're really on like polar opposite ends, if it wasn't for the fact that it was so catchy and recognizable and had so many parodies came from it, it would have been a 0. But like, you want to compromise? Let's compromise. I 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll compromise to 10 out of 10 because there's definitely elements there that could be improved. But, you know, I feel like it stood the test of time. It's not super toxic masculine. It is a little bit, but not way too much. And it's also like it's led to so many great parodies of things that it like I feel like it's brought a lot of people together in a way because it's done that. So there's some positives that came out of it. So
So true, so true. And speaking of like toxic, I think A Girl Worth Fighting For is just toxic because I'm over here like, so I guess the safety of your country and families aren't worth. That's not enough of a motivator for you to fight for your people. No, no, no. It needs to be a woman. It needs to be a woman that can cook for me, that can laugh for me, that'll worship me. I'm really glad they had that abrupt ending, though, to just emphasize hey, this is the reality of war. This is what you should be fighting for, not for some curves back at home that you don't even got.
I feel that for sure. What was your rating for that?
Oh, I gave it like a 1 out of 10.
We are in agreement. I also gave it a 1 out of 10.
Hell
The
yeah.
Chinese elements were cool music wise. Like, I liked the background music if we got rid of all of the lyrics and singing. Like, just the music
Just keep the
was
music.
fine. But like everything else, I just couldn't. It was just so It's like it's not that catchy, really. It's not necessarily greatly sung because the purpose isn't for that's not a musical number, really. It's not like for example, Reflection is definitely like musically a music number that like matters singing wise. This was like spoken song, so like it didn't do anything for me. And I agree, it's just super toxic because it was like she needs to be this pretty. She needs to think that I am the strongest man ever. She needs to cook for me every single meal. It's like no, No. So I agree, 1 out of 10 there.
That's so cool. I'm so glad we can agree on that. So that was all the songs for Mulan 1. So for Mulan 2, which I know some people, yeah, the plot does not make any sense, but we're not talking about the plot. We're talking about the songs. Honestly, lesson number 1, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I really liked that song. It's the only other song from this franchise that doesn't have sexist lyrics in it. I love it, and I love how Mulan was teaching the other girls, yeah, you can be strong too. This is how you fight. This is how you protect yourself.
I actually also gave it a 9 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, I love you. We're
It's
so on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I think these last few were definitely there. It's super catchy actually. I was surprised by how catchy it was because I couldn't really remember a lot of Mulan 2, being completely honest. But it's actually really catchy. The lyrics are super well done, and there's this like music wise a really good contrast because at the very beginning it's about being strong and unafraid, right? So that's kind of reminiscent of Make a Man Out of You. And then the next verse, which is about being swaying like the wind and being like the oaks, right? Like it's okay to be unafraid was the next line. It's a complete contrast, but that was very similar to Bring Honor to Us All. So it almost felt like both qualities are important. And the fact that they had one, children are so cute. I love children singing, it's adorable. But it combines these two ideas of the last movie that you need some, I'm going to get like philosophical here. So like you need some like attributes of what people consider being a woman. You have some attributes of what people consider being a man, and you need both to be a worthy warrior of a person. So it's like taking both elements and not highlighting like you need to be perfect like a woman or perfect like a man. You need both to be successful. So I felt like that the messaging behind it was like super important about finding balance. And then, breaking into me being all like into like history and um cultural aspects of things. It kind of reminds me of like the yin and yang. So like the yin and yang actually is how it's pronounced, but like the yin and yang, you've got a little bit of both in each. So the yin and yang represents man and woman. They bleed into each other because there's a little bit of man and woman and a little bit of woman and man. So it's all about balance. And this song was all about balance. And you could hear it in the two different verses, and then at the very end they combined the two, so one half of the children are singing like the you need to be strong and you needed to be this like really sturdy force to be a good warrior, but then the other half of the children are like you need to be patient, you need to be able to be flexible, and so they combined together. So it was like for me the personification of like yin and yang and the idea that you need a little bit of like everything to be whole.
Dude,
That
I
was like
loved
really
it.
philosophical.
No, I loved it, and that was like the whole theming of the movie. If only it had like a better story, the whole yin yang part of it, because that's how like Mulan and Shang are to each other, and it's like
Mhm.
really good. And I'm really happy we both could geek out about it. So they made a girl worth fighting for, Redux. That's what they call it in the soundtrack. I did not like it. I did not care for it. It was somehow even worse and more sexist. I gave it. It's so bad. I gave it a -0 because I wouldn't be mad if Mulan 2 just gave these three like the Lion King 1.5 treatment, and otherwise they still come off as like self-absorbed jerks. Even like Shimpo.
I Yeah, no, I agree. I also gave it -0.
Let's go.
This song did nothing. It added nothing. I agree. It's somehow worse than the original version, and the original version already wasn't that great. So it's just like it didn't feel any different from the original. Like the feeling was still there, so and the feeling's not great. So it's like eh. And then it's now like missing some of the other elements. Like there were still like Chinese music elements like in this version, but like with the other version, at least there were other men in like that could like save the thing. Like when there's a chorus of men, it wasn't so bad. But like this was like literally just character singing. And maybe it's just I just don't like their voices, but it didn't do anything. It added nothing for me.
Yeah, they
And I
weren't
think
too
in
hot
that
singing
song,
either.
one of them got punched, and I was like, "Yeah, you deserve that, bro." Like,
Agreed, agreed, agreed. I'm so happy. We agreed on a lot so far, which is great.
mhm.
Dang, I kind of expected more fighting, but for the last song, I want to be like other girls. Child, I might not be a historian, but I'm pretty sure girls back in that ancient time of China weren't treated well. I would like to think that the royalties were treated better than the usual people, but I loved Ting Ting's song at the beginning of it. It was really well sung and really soft spoken, and how all her sister was joining in. But I don't think May knows what it means to be a girl in the time period she's in of China. Also, it's not fair for them to be forced into marriage. Yeah, but if that means you're saving your entire country, just take one for the team and plot a coup to get rid of your spouse. I don't know. Just me.
Absolutely. I agree with that completely. The cultural time period now, I don't want to offend any other Asians, and also, like hashtag stop API hate as a woman, an Asian woman. Like, I definitely feel it right now. But even just generally, toxic masculinity and expectations of women, like women as a whole, in like most of Asia is actually still there. It's like
Wait,
it's
you
actually
mean they
terrible.
can't? They don't climb up trees like other girls? They don't like eat a whole cake?
I mean, that definitely can be done. It's better than it used to be, but there's definitely still and I'm saying this with like full transparency as an Asian, there is still some expectations about like subserviency of women. It's like changed quite a bit since like of course ancient China. It was much worse in ancient China, but like even now, like in my own culture, there are times where like I could be lifting a heavy box and I'm capable of lifting it and carrying it on my own. I don't necessarily need help. Not that I won't not that I'll refuse help, but I don't necessarily need it. And I have been told by people who are older than me like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. You're a girl. Just let the guys handle it.
I
Just
heard that
you're
a
just supposed
lot
to just
growing
sit
up
there."
too. Mainly because
Yeah,
I
you're
got
just
my
supposed to just sit
back.
there. What do you want me to do? Sit here while everyone else is working? Like, I want to be treated equally here. And so there's still definitely some aspects where the expectation is still kind of there. So in this whole like I want to be like other girls. Actually you've given your ratings first the entire time, so I can rate it first, but I gave it like a 5 out of 10. I was halfway in between. So I liked the beginning the same way as you. I really liked the musical aspects of the beginning. Um
Ray, I love
uh
it. Sorry. Also, sorry if I felt like I kept taking up a lot of space. I kept giving my ratings first. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be like back and forth. I'm sorry. But
oh,
like,
you're totally
dude,
fine.
I gave it a 5 out of 10 too.
Wow. You see, on these very end ones, we were on point, literally. The beginning was fine. The middle section was upbeat, which was okay. I liked the chorus, but like, then they start listing a bunch of things, and it kind of like desynced the song for me because nothing, like, not that everything needs to rhyme, but there was like kind of a sense of rhyming in a lot of these songs
There was
in
a
some
lot of
places.
slant rhyming in this song in particular. No
Yeah,
nursemaids,
and it just
no hands folded perfect like holding a lily. That was kind of a stretch rhyme.
that line for me was amusing because of the way they humor like not humorize that. I don't even think that's a word. The way they like comically did that to show how dumb it was for them. I kind of liked, but it was a stretch music wise because it just kind of was out there. So, I'm kind of like half and half. Like, I liked some parts of it. I'm not digging other parts of it. The transition between the two, coming from very tranquil and soft to upbeat, it was a cool transition. But the whole song as a whole was kind of like, meh, it was all right. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. So, like, right in the middle, 5/10.
Love it. I expected us to be more going back and forth on this kind of thing, but like the only ones we really had to compromise was Honor to Us All and I'll Make a Man Out of You, which I saw coming.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I I think a lot of these songs, they were really catchy and nice when you first watch them, but when you actually like take them apart is where you begin to see like this is actually kind of rough. Like yikes. This is a yikes right here. So, um I rewatched Mulan 1. I chose not to rewatch Mulan 2 and just listen to the music for it. Cause this okay, again, we weren't talking storyline, but the storyline of Mulan 2 is just so meh. I couldn't bring myself to watch an hour, like a little over an hour of it.
Just literally two breeders just arguing, and it's like, oh, misunderstanding. Ah, it's a comedy. Oh, but your country's gonna go to war. No one married the prince. What's gonna happen to the country? Forget about it. Happy ending. And that's our rating for every Mulan song out of 10. Thank you so much, Raven, for joining me on this.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Now, can you tell us where the people can find you?
Absolutely. So, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's ray_VA. I'm also on YouTube as RayRayVA as well. I mostly post voice acting videos since I am a voice actor. So, yeah, if you want to follow me and check out my stuff, feel free to check the description.
Wondrous. And we had such a fun time doing this. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I'm probably gonna cut this later part out. I don't know why I started talking. I was trying to think of like another joke. I was trying to think of another joke between, because like, I'm Mushu, you're Cricky. We are that dynamic.
What would be the ship name for Mushu Cricket?
Moo
Combined.
Cricket, dragon, kraken,
Cricket Dragon.
tracken.
Dragon Cricket.
I don't know how that even worked. Now you got me thinking. Ah, okay, that's enough of that. I'm gonna stop this recording.
Cregon.
Cregon.